Okay. Yeah, I think we're good to go.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Maybe you can also sometimes navigate me if someone has a question, because I can also answer them in between, because I don't see anyone. So I will look at you as my audience.
Do you have a Q&A session in the end? Maybe we can save it for later.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can see me and hear me. I only see one person, but I would hope that there are more than two people in the audience. I'm Sasha. I am the manager of people and internal operations at the company Berlin Bytes, which you can see on your screen. We are a digital software design agency, and we're based here in Berlin, as you probably see from the screen. And I will talk to you about a few points. I will show you my small agenda, which basically to give you some updates, or not updates, the guidelines about my small presentation today. I first will focus a bit on us and our team, and also what kind of services we offer, so that you have a bit of understanding who we are, what we do, and what kind of environment we offer for our team and potential candidates who might join us. I will also tell you about a couple of roles we are looking for right now and you might be interested in. We are looking for some working students, so I think it's right up your alley and would be interesting to note. And I have some interview process information, what we do here for our candidates. And at the very last, I think some tips and tricks for the recruitment and the whole application process would be interesting. And for disclosure, it's just my opinion in relation to working at the smaller company. I'm not talking about the corporates. I'm not talking about other companies. It's specifically relevant to us. I think some of the tips would be quite logical and very much applicable towards any sort of applications. But again, please note that it might not be applicable to everyone. So I'm not going to tell you that this is the template and the rule of thumb for everyone. Okay, so maybe I will start first talking about us, so you know who are and what are Berlin Bytes. As I mentioned, we are the software design and development agency. We also basically position ourselves as a digital transformation agency. We work with clients, so we're not a product company. We don't have our product. We develop product solutions for our clients within the digital transformation project. We in general focus on four main categories of services. So we do digital products, as I mentioned. So we start from basically scratch. We work with the concept and ideas from the client. Obviously, they come already with some potentially problems that they face, or they have some idea which they would like to bring to market. And what we do, we basically try to understand how we can approach it and then start from the concept, architecture, design, and then we do the design, wireframes, and then development. So basically the full software development lifecycle, as you probably know, or some of you might learn, that's what we're talking about here. And basically, if we going to focus a bit more on the specific elements, we like to work with the B2B enterprises, meaning that all of solutions are focused and targeted towards the internal processes of the clients. So therefore, the second box you can see here is internal operations platforms. This is basically, we're talking about ERP, IMS, or inventory management system, enterprise resource management systems, anything related to data visualization, then traceability platforms. For example, we worked with a manufacturing company where we supported them with understanding how we can visualize their process and support them with identifying where the different components of what they're building go into so that they can easily find them. So this may be not as exciting for designers, but developers do love those kind of work. Um, from the design perspective, obviously, we work on some B2C products. We have, for example, one of our longest clients at the moment is a mobile app development project. We've been working with them completely as a greenfield project, meaning that they came to us with an idea how they would like to digitalize their product, which they have for their client, how they can enable their clients or their customer base uh, through the digitalization component. And we basically designed for them the app. And it's been already 2.5 years we've been working with them, meaning that it's not we just offer the concept, but we go through continuous iteration phases and basically building more and more. Then you also see that we talk about AI and automation. That's, I would say, a very common topic in the current state of our environment and digital industry. Obviously, AI and automation is something which we also working with. And if we talk about AI specifically, we are not alone. We're part of a Intelligent group. It's a data warehouse consulting company from Munich. They also have variety of offices across Germany. We work with them. We're part of that group. They have also AI department for quite some time already, and we together do work towards digital transformation of the, as we call it, German Mittelstand, which is SMEs, in how we can bring the AI and automation of their workflows in a new level, supporting with our consultancy. And this is also related to data and business intelligence. This is also kind of bucket which we cover. Obviously, I would like to give a bit more kind of information about us and also kind of support with a few kind of pat on the shoulder moments here. We obviously work with the Shopify and some other web platforms like Webflow because what I mentioned, while we do work majority of the time with the B2B clientele, some of them do focus on end customers, and we also support with e-commerce website, web development, and here we work with Shopify and Webflow. And when we talk about the consulting and digital transformation, we also partner with Microsoft to support with the Microsoft Migration Factory. Also, just a few kind of securing our position in the industry components here is that we obviously talk about that our project managers, product owners, and also our developers and designers, they all Scrum certified. We also offer that as a part of our upskilling here at the company. Therefore, we know that what we offer our clients is something which we can definitely say that this is the proof of the knowledge. With the current development of accessibility, we also talk about the TÜV certification. Probably some of you might be aware of this, but in July of this current year still, I'm already thinking and living in 2026. In July of 2025, there was a new accessibility pact, and therefore we also working in this direction by being certified and also supporting our clients and potential also projects with first of all checking their product accessibility, and also if there is need, we making sure that they are accessible. And yeah, that's it what I want to say about accessibility. And also, since I mentioned about AI and Intelligent, this is a bit of a brag that we worked with them, and they definitely know what they're talking about because they've been #1 place in Germany last year in that direction. Okay, and now I would like to move on to the Berlin Bytes and our team and our culture, so you also understand who we are, not just from what we do and what we deliver to our clients and our business partners, but also who we are for ourselves, for our team, and for everyone who also comes to be here in the office. So as you can see, we live in a nice building, which is called Backfabrik. It's maybe some of you familiar with some of the offices which are in this area. It's very close to Alexanderplatz, and we have 3 stories office there. We share technically it also with some other companies which would like to offer to be with us, but majority of the team is here in Berlin. We also have 2 lovely bears, which you can see very nicely sitting on the couch. And the team itself is, I would say, not very petite, but we're still a small company. We're around 45 people. We have 3 managing directors. They all focus on specific areas of our development. We do have an in-house development team. We do have an in-house creative team, which focus on UX, UI, branding, and also design systems and everything development towards this area. We do have our PMO team, which is project management office. They work in leading the projects with our clients and also optimizing the processes in our company internally. And then obviously we do have a group of people or our team who focus on the marketing, sales, and then all internal components, which basically I also part of. We do like to do a lot of kind of small activities together from the culture perspective. You can see here on these images, for example, we were going away for vacation last year to France, where we do some workshops and kind of having a team building exercises. And we like to do that every year. So this is part of the culture we're trying to build. And in general, since I already mentioned, we still a small company and we like to be that way because we feel that this is how we can still feel connection and kind of build something more meaningful to us because we know what we're working on, we know how we work together, and this is the way how we chose to do that. Therefore, I would also mention a few words about other events which we do, which basically lunch, breakfast. So it's kind of like those small bips and bops which we like to organize for our team and for ourselves. As a matter of fact, the reason why I'm actually not joining you today in person because we're going to Hamburg for our team day, where we have a workshop and then we have some nice activities. Tomorrow we have place in a like city rally. So that's basically something which we try to not forget about and make sure that is happening with our team. And I also, before moving on to roles which I would like to advertise for you today, I would also like to mention a few other points related to our culture. We definitely like to keep ourselves busy in terms of upskilling, in terms of learning, and it's not necessarily happening as a focused part that, yes, I take time to learn something. It's always happening within the project and within the focus area where the person works with. And this is something which we very much value. And I'm saying it for a reason because that's what we also value from the candidate who applied to us. Since that's something to understand from the beginning, how curious person is, how interested they are into develop focused areas when they trying to find their career, but also how much they look beyond and above what they actually focus towards. And now with that being said, maybe I can give you a bit of information on who we're right now looking for, so you might potentially consider to apply. I'm not having any links, but you can definitely find them on our website or on LinkedIn. And also you can contact, for example, the organizers of the event. They can also share with you some links or my email so that I can share with you myself. So we're currently looking for 2 working students positions. We also look for full-time, but I will focus on the working students at the moment. One of them in marketing. It's in our RevOps team, and we call it RevOps because they work in the revenue operations, basically. They do have the sales or project solutions managers, but also the marketing specialist and working student marketing. We already have one, and we're looking for support. They primarily focus on the content creation for LinkedIn and Instagram and case studies for our website. So their primarily role would be focusing on the calendar management of the posting, on ideation of what should be published, around what kind of target audience and the content, because we always talk about here, if we focus on LinkedIn, it's primarily the sales orientation. If we talk about Instagram, it's employer branding, meaning that talking about us as an employer, and the sales, obviously, talking about us as a service provider for our clients. Therefore, content is quite different, but also interesting, and we do have some ideas, or our team has an idea calendar where they talk about specific days more branding related and community focus, and the other days it's case studies and so on and so on. So we look for someone who might join and support them with that, also creating more ideas, because in this area, as I mentioned, as any other, the curiosity and ownership and I would say motivation and drive to develop something new is very much welcomed, and therefore it's not really very rigid environment in terms of there is certain focus and already quite a few developed processes and the tools they use. But anyone who would like to grow and understand how they can maybe develop a new area, that's definitely something very much considered here. And the second role, which we are currently looking for, this is specifically for my team, so you can also ask me questions if you want. It's a working student in office management. Here we talk about support with basically keeping this office as a running, very good oiled machine, but also focusing on culture development and event management. We talk about obviously making sure that everything is operating properly in terms of the office facilities, talking with our suppliers and providers, but also supporting our employees and our subtenants who are also in this office with their daily work and with basically convenience at the office. We also talk about the opportunity to work on the office improvement and decoration. So we always have something interesting to do here, because we actually moved to this office a year ago. So we have very much a lot of greenery here and some nice elements, but there is still a lot of opportunities to work on basically decoration, on making this office very nice. And then together with this, focusing on events, focusing on the community element. And here we talk about on the double or I would say two-way components is us as a team. So we have events which is more like a regular night after the work. So for example, last week, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we had the pelmeni night with our team when we did the DIY pelmeni and then some salads, which is our colleagues brought here and kind of cooked together. Then the month before, we did, actually, I forgot already what we did. We did the sushi and some kind of a fusion night. We also did the taco night. So we're trying to kind of bring also cultural elements of our employees to kind of share this culture and traditions together, but also making them together and not just kind of bringing it. And we also do have some other events which is a bit more focused, like for example, Christmas or winter celebration. We do have a Secret Santa and like exchange of presents. We do have team days where, as for example, right now, as I mentioned, I'm going to Hamburg when we organize everything. And there's many more stuff to actually work on and develop because there are also small bips and bobs here with, for example, I just recalled we have this word of the day thing when people, especially the ones who right now learning German, they come to the front desk and then they have like a little word of the day, and then they have a little task to fulfill, and then afterwards with the points which we collect, we give potentially a prize. I have actually no idea what the price is. I have to talk also with my working student who does that right now. And another component of this community event management, as I mentioned, would be the external events, because we have a very beautiful arena kind of area downstairs where there's a place to sit and welcome guests, and we have nice projector with the audio and video system. So we do host some external parties events and meetups and community. So we had, for example, here the Flutter devs community event presentation. We have some networking, for example, Figma launch watch party. So this is something also to think about, and it's an avenue to kind of develop in this area as well with this position. Yes, that was my small pitch of what we're looking for right now. And I would now move on to the how do we hire part, because I think it's very interesting for you as well. Oh, I hope so. Because again, I don't see anyone, so I hope that there are still people listening to me. So we in general have 3 stages for the interview process, and I'm focusing right now more on the full time, because for the working student position, we go in a bit more customized way. We do go through the 2 interview process, but sometimes it depends. Maybe we can combine some of them. So you can expect that there are 3 components regardless. So one of them is a culture fit interview, which actually happened with me and our other working student who is in recruitment. It's basically the 45-minute call when we talk about us. So basically what I'm telling you right now, I'm giving a bit more information, more focused towards the role and towards the team. But this is also kind of like part of the interview. So we always like to present to our candidates who interview with us like very transparent and full information, what they can expect, and share these details in the first call first. And then obviously we talk about them, and it's very much unstructured interview flow. We don't focus on like question answer as probably majority of people learn from information out there about how the interview is structured. We'd like to have a bit more of a open dialogue about the goals and aspirations of our potential new colleague. And we'd like to have it as a most relaxed atmosphere as possible. So therefore, it's a very nice and in-person or online call, depending on also availabilities. And yeah, that's how we like to structure our first call. Then we have a behavioral interview. You're probably very much familiar with this because there are tons of information about this online, about those structured questions, like have you ever experienced this or that? We kind of go in with the same idea. It's more business focused or more like domain focused. And usually we do this call with either the team lead of the specific vertical where the person would join, or with the managing directors. And you shouldn't be worried about this. Managing directors from our company are very nice and very friendly, so there are no pressure. And yeah, they like to make it also quite comfortable. And then we have a case study. Case study, obviously, to kind of test the skills of the person who might potentially join us on the one hand, but on the other hand, for them to actually understand what they might face when they work here. Because we don't want to, in a way, sell the cat in the bag. We want someone to understand what they will work with. And therefore, that's a moment for them to kind of try this work task assignment, what we actually looking for that person for. The grammar is missing right now for me in my head. So yes, the case study, we usually try to do it on the spot. So meaning that the person comes to us, we give them the case prompt, they have 45 minutes to prepare. And then afterwards, the team who is the hiring team of this position, usually it again consists of the project lead or the team lead, then some of the senior colleagues, and then also managing directors, so it's kind of like around 3 people in the call. They join back, and then there's a bit of a presentation, or it could be the workshop simulation, depending on the position we hire the person for. And we also do it with around 3 people, just to give a chance for the potential joiner to also understand who they might work with. Because yes, they would see, for example, myself and our working student in the first call, and then they would have a behavioral interview, so it's another person. so we would like to give as many interactions and touch points as possible so that they also know who they might work with. And then if it's possible to do it on site here, we also give the tour of the office so they understand what they might see. Because at the end of the day, we always mention that we do like to have in-person interactions in the office. So it is hybrid work setup, but we do like to have here at least 2 to 3 days people in the office. And we have someone who works here every day. We have someone who, especially, developers, they tend to be here for 2 days. But overall, the office always busy. This were the interview process. Now I would like to give as my final, maybe 5 minutes talk, the tips and tricks. Oh, tricks. Actually, I'm still in Halloween mode. I meant tricks like the tricks with I, but well, you can forgive me about this part. So I have 3 components or 3 buckets to talk about. And again, as a disclosure, this is what applicable to the applicants to our company for our positions. I'm not by no means saying that this is template or rule of thumb for any other company or corporate. This is for us and that how we treat the applications. So I also think it's a more or less logical and decent way, but I'm not saying and not putting my words into the mouth of anyone else from any other company. So I would suggest when you apply, obviously we talk about customization for each role and so on, but even when you prepare your CV, don't use very obvious templates because I guarantee the recruiters, they do go through those and they've seen those templates millions of times. That doesn't support your application to start out. I know that there are companies who use AI, for example, for some keywords. Great. We don't, for example, but there are companies who do that. But after the AI, there's still a person who looks and review your CV. And even if you use a bunch of keywords, great, maybe that will help to get the first step. But afterwards, it's still the human being who would look into that. And then if you have the same format as everyone else, that's very hard to identify those key components and for you to stood out from this. Pretty much rule of thumb, I think, for everyone in this case, also for the other companies, is please check for typos, for formatting of your CV, for spacing, for bullet points, for any links which potentially might not work, because this really brings a bit of a shadow on your performance, because this is your first performance, first, I'm missing right now the word, first basically presentation of yourself, of your profile for the potential recruiter. The type was very much obvious, and especially when someone puts into the first paragraph, which I would say not necessary, because the work you do, the description of your positions or your internships, or if you did some voluntarily work, if you're, for example, a student, speaks more about your profile, about your expertise, rather than this opening paragraph saying, I'm a 5+ years experience, blah, blah, blah. And if you do right there, I'm very much detail oriented, and then the next line would be a typo, then this is a really big, I would say, concern about the whole CV. Spacing as well, because it's very obvious right away when you have a bullet points jumping from spot to spot on your template or your custom version of your CV. So I would suggest to really pay attention to this because it's really obvious and visible when you look into this. And then information architecture, which I made a typo. See, when I'm talking about detailed orientation, information architecture is important, meaning that you, when you apply, understand where you apply and then what is the target audience in terms of also the position. So if you really focusing on more academia related work, obviously the experience from university would be most important and then it goes first, but predominantly in the companies where you apply for internship or work in student position, the university degrees usually not the most relevant. What is relevant is your experience. Even if you don't have an actual work in an organization experience, put the voluntary experience, put the internships. This is important. And then your hobbies and everything like an additional one that goes to the end, because some people decide to put that they're like snowboarding at the very first point. Unless you're applying to snowboard in a relevant company, that's not the most important bit of information that we need to know. The language, for example, is important, but if you say that you speak German, English, C2, or for example, conversational, and then you put another 5 languages which you have A1, this is not really relevant information unless you're applying to the companies where work for these markets. So I would suggest to kind of focus on what is the most relevant. For the cover letter and references, we do like that. So when you apply, for example, for us, we read the cover letters because it gives a bit more reference to what you're trying to communicate with your CV. I know that some companies don't really do that, but again, I would recommend you to do that because it brings a bit more kind of personality into the whole application. But again, try to check for typos or irrelevant info. And also, like that might sound a bit funny or ridiculous. I've seen also cover letters which states that hello, and then they say name of the other company and while applying to us. So this obviously already also gives a bit of a concern to how much person actually understood who they're applying to and then what they're applying for. And also referrals. For example, we do ask for data or data, the information, the personal contact for referrals, because we might contact them to ask about the person. Please do put the person who you actually know or work with, or from university if you don't have work experience, some professors or tutors, so we can actually talk to them and they know that who you are, because we've seen experience of the people who just put random people there. Good example, they contact on LinkedIn someone and say, hey, could you please refer me, without knowing the person at all. This is not how that works. Maybe in some other companies, yes, but if you're applying, for example, to us, I would highly recommend you not to just basically put random person who you're not even contact them on LinkedIn sometimes, that's your referral. And the last bit, AI, which we all talk about. By no means, I'm not saying don't use AI, because AI obviously supports the efficiency of our work as well here. But when you do that, please do it smartly, because it's very obvious when the AI is used. Maybe when you do have typos, it kind of like gives a bit more information that yes, that's the person themselves created this, which is good. But when AI uses very specific language, they're very specific keywords like fostering, orchestrating. Normal human being, in terms of language, doesn't really use those, and it's very obvious. And it's fine to use it to refine the text, but if it's really obviously written with AI, it also gives a bit of a raised brow for us, because, well, it means the person didn't look over the CV. Okay, with that being said, it's already 10 minutes until the end of my talk, as far as I was told, sorry, about. So if you have any questions, go ahead. We have right now a little Q&A. If not, I thank you.
Plenty of people.
The camera is not pointing there.
Sorry, I don't see anything. I just see really like a
Yeah,
black screen right now.
I'm going to show you the room, Sasha, because there are plenty of students.
Okay. Oh, oops.
So
Nice.
I said it several times. I want you to make sure that you have an audience, and a very interested audience. And I think they really appreciated the insights that you shared with us. So now I will give the floor to the students if they have questions, which is, I assume, the case. So is there someone who would like to start? Yeah, please go. Speak loudly, because I'm not sure the.
But yeah, speak loud and clear, please.
Can you stand up and speak loudly?
Okay. So basically, my question was regarding.
Can you hear the student?
Can you hear the student, Sasha?
For now, yes, but I will ask if I don't understand completely the question.
Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
so basically my question was regarding application tracking systems that company employed, for example, Ash by HQ and Greenhouse. I don't know like if it is relevant. Should I ask about it?
Could you please maybe repeat the question, or if someone can, because I didn't catch everything. Sorry.
Basically my question was regarding the application tracking system that company use, for example, Ash by HQ and Greenhouse and other application tracking system. So I wanted to understand like how that exactly works. That does the application tracking system automatically reject our application, or
Okay.
like does our application, like when we apply, does it reach to the HR with the recruiter, or what happens in the middle? Like I just wanted to know.
Yeah, I understand. Yes, so basically, it depends. Depends on the position. If we have very strict requirements for example, German language, then we might have this as a requirement, which will support us to identify the applications, but we still look for them. So we don't do the automation right away. The only automation we do just to support us with the time, if we already select the candidate, and then we do follow up with our applications, just to send, unfortunately, in this case, email that we are sorry that we already closed the position. In that case, yes, we do have the automation, but other than that, we do go for applications ourselves.
Thank you, Sasha. Yeah, there is another question in the front.
Hello. I want to ask that, do you need German language for these positions?
Yes.
Then I think German conversation will be more intelligent, I think, because how much people can work in German in here?
You're saying that it would be more intelligent for me to present this in German?
Yeah, because in this room nobody can work with German language.
Yeah, but I'm also presenting to you the company, and we have more positions. I was just talking about the current open ones. Well, if you wanted to hear it in German, I could have done it in German.
But it was not the request of GISMA. So that's why we did it in English.
I understood, but okay.
It depends on the applicants and the level. Which level is required, Sasha, in German?
So for the marketing student position, we require C1. For the office management, it could be B2 because they need to obviously support us with the visitors.
Okay, I don't have any other question. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions in the room?
Similar questions, the application tracking system. There are two types, like we can make, there are two ways in which we can make resumes. We can go to the online platforms, which make your resume format, like you just need to put all the information. Or you can design your own resume using the MS Word like that. So application tracking system, does it accept the online platform formats? It passes through that, or no?
Yeah.
Or the tabular form only?
No. It accepts PDFs, so it doesn't matter how you created it.
Okay. Next one.
Any other questions in the room? Yeah, please. You can stand up because you're in the back of the room.
First you said you require German. There are so many companies that actually require German for their job requirement. But I just have a question, like we are working in software, right? And we know how to code, and we know like I don't think like language is particular restriction there, because these days we have tools like DeepSeek, ChatGPT and all that, which we can use to convert any language to like whatever language we like, and we can produce the output. Like for example, we can do the code and we can show like what exactly you need in any language. We are not living in like 1990s or 2000s where we think like we need the language and then we have to produce the output. So I just wanted to know, like, is the language more of a cultural I mean, like we have to interact in a cultural way, or like is it like something required to the technical work that we are doing?
I hope I caught the question because it was not that easy to understand because of the, I guess, the distance. So you were asking whether is the language requirement is literally, it's really something very strict because of the culture, or whether it's possible to don't have high German requirements, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, because what I understand is that like we can do all the technical work that a company requires. For example, I'm a software developer with like 7 years of experience. I can code anything like in my language, like I know JavaScript and all that. Like I can do anything in that particular language. I don't have to be like fluent in maybe German or some other language they are working in, but I can understand the requirement, and I can like maybe use DeepSeek or ChatGPT to know like what exactly country requires with me, and I can translate it to the code actually. Like I have.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand. No, I by no means I meant that we require German for every single position. When I was asked the question about the current one I showed you as a working student, the German is required there just because of the job description and what the position required, writing the copy, for example, as a marketing working student in German. Our developers, I don't know, we don't have any developer who does speak German fluently because it's not required for developers, for designers as well, on the specific level. We do have engineering managers who do speak German because they also interact with clients who are predominantly in DACH region. But we also provide the German classes here to support the career boosting. No, we don't require just because our company culture is English language culture.
Okay, one last question because it's almost 11:30.
Okay, sorry, really fast. So you as a recruiter, you will recommend to put on the cover letter to that we are like invested on a first enrolled to learn language, to learn German in this case. And so we can be I don't know, like we can be taken as then an interview or something else, like be taken for the position, not just saying, okay, you don't have the German language, so that's it. I don't know if I'm making myself clear, sorry.
Sorry, could you please repeat the question because I didn't catch you.
Sorry, do you recommend that we put in our cover letter that we want to, like, we are really invested on being enrolled in a German course language? So we can be.
Yes, when I mentioned that if you have a lot of A1 languages which are not relevant for the position and for the country where you're in, that's just too much information sometimes. But of course, here I mean in general, in the industry, it would relevant if you put this. There is nothing wrong with that. I meant if you list 10 languages because we've seen those applications, and again, it's just the tips which are applicable for us. If you're applying for the position which has nothing to do with for example, Chinese, and you just learn it for 1 week and now you think that you have A1, it's not really benefiting you too much. However, if you say that you start to learn German because you also right now moved to Germany, there's nothing wrong with that.
It will be taken into consideration for the position, if that's the case.
It depends on the requirements of the position. If there is no requirement of the German, of course.
Okay, thank you.
Is there something happening? Because I don't hear or see anyone right now, so I'm not sure.
Oh. Well, thank you very much.
Hello again.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Sasha.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice day.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you so much.